How's it going, guys? It's your boy Flash coming at you live on a Sunday afternoon. Normally, I don't cut these vids in the summertime just because there's not much to talk about. June, July, August, just being frank, outside the rope, late night thunderstorm or electrical storm, I should say. But there's plenty to talk about now. And if you type in weather.gov on your browser, you'll see what I'm talking about. Really, the advisories tell the tale here. You could pick out your two ridges and your one trough just by looking at this map. Historic heat in the northwest. You have some heat advisories in the northeast as well. So not historic there, but still pretty hot. In fact, it's hotter in Massachusetts and New York and Connecticut than it is here, which is crazy. But it has nothing. The temps that are going on in Portland, Seattle, Spokane, Boise, they're seeing a generational event with this heat wave up there. And but we'll start at home here, and you'll see just average temps, nothing to really write home about. Some scattered thunderstorms tomorrow, but pretty typical this time of year. The real story is in the 6 to 10 day outlook. I mean, look at this. CPC just issued this not too long ago. We're talking about next weekend, the 4th of July holiday weekend. That's another reason why I wanted to cut this, because I know a lot of you have plans and you want to know what to expect. It's a tale of two patterns. You could clearly see it here. You could divide a line here between the extreme above average temp anomalies and the below average temp anomalies. And not surprisingly, we have above average precip opportunities in the near future as well. We'll go to the 810, and I'm going to go ahead and go to the more defined maps here. You can see the probabilities more clearly. Likely probabilities that areas in Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, again, the Southern Great Plains, and most of the southern U.S. really, that will be 5 to 10 degrees below average, maybe some 15, but I would say 5 to 10 is a good bet, which means that you're going to be hard-pressed to touch 90 in a lot of these locations. And I know, looking at my weather app here locally, there's going to be some days where we're hard-pressed to reach 80 with lows in the low to mid-60s, which is going to feel really nice. If you get 60s down here this time of year, it's most likely you're in a refreshing air mass. Contrarily, look at the huge 80% plus probability of above normal temperatures. That's pretty high on the scale. You rarely see that. So that's 6 to 10 days. If you go to 8 to 14 days, you're adding 2 days. And look what happens. I'm going to push this over. The ridging in the northwest starts to move east, granted to our north, but you could see how the core of those below average heights starts to move west a little bit. Not a whole lot, but maybe a little bit of a retrograde where you have the troughing now caught underneath. And this actually doesn't look so bad for now, but in the future, this could be a warning sign. Because look, the 6 to 10 day, you basically have ridge and trough, but note the effects of the Bermuda high coming back into the picture in the northeast. And so you could see how you have two areas of ridging potentially starting to combine, and eventually that's going to beat down on the trough down here, this area of below average heights, potentially. Not saying it's going to happen, but if we're talking the second half of July, I am concerned that you have these two ridges, the Bermuda High being a dominant player we're more familiar with being on the east side of the lower 48. So if this 8 to 14 day outlook verifies, I mean, it could be a cautionary omen of things to come, really. Whereas if you look at the 6 to 10 day, very encouraging the next couple of weeks. We're going to have a great 4th of July weekend here, but I am very concerned. This was issued at Weather Bell yesterday, and you could see what I'm talking about. Historic heat, and also into British Columbia. You can see the columns of ridge, trough, ridge, like a reverse omega block. You can't really see it here, but there is a ridge off the Atlantic here, and then you have another up in the northwest. And again, right now they're not interlocking yet, but if they do, just enjoy the cooler temps as long as they're here, because it could get very hot. We could bake pretty easily in the second half of July. So that's really my, in 10 seconds or less, I don't have much time here, but just enjoy these 80s and 60s, because we're very, there's a good chance we could be looking at 90s and 70s for most of the end of July.